I can't believe this. I am sitting in a car that is iconic. This car is based on the 1968 GT40 Mark I, the race car that dominated, I mean just dominated the racing world. And well, check it out next on the Fast Lane Car.
You can't explain the GT40. It's tough to explain. But one thing you got to know is it was one of the most amazing cars ever. I mean, Ford came to Shelby and said, Ford wins Le Mans in '66, and Carroll said, well, give me the money and I'll make it happen. And they shipped the Mark I GT40s, a couple of them over to Carroll, and he realized there were a few issues why the car wasn't doing well in '65. And he wanted to put his 427 FE in, and he had to make some changes to the body, more air in to cool it, and he had to have a special transmission, the top loader transmission built into a transaxle. Did all that, and of course, there they went, first, second, and third. And Dan Gurney was actually leading the race when his broke with transmission issues. Otherwise, they would have been first, second, third, and fourth against Ferrari, who had dominated the Le Mans series.
GT40, I love the billet aluminum gas cap. That's crazy. It's got two of them. Is that so you can come into the pits and fill it from either side?
Could pull them up quicker.
Yeah.
They would have two guys pull them up. And of course, this is the one that started all the GT40s. This is the Mark I. And this is probably the prettiest car. This is what Ford fashioned their new Ford GT on.
Yep.
We actually physically dropped one of our GT40s off at the design studio at Ford, and Freeman Thomas and them had the car on show there the whole time. This is probably the most beautiful shape car of the GT40s.
Spectacular.
Absolutely. All the lines are smooth. It's such a well-designed, awesome-looking car.
Now this one doesn't have the gurney bump.
No, this owner ordered his without the gurney bump. He's probably only 5'7", 5'8", and he didn't see the need for it, and he wanted the pretty clean lines. I'll show you. We can open up the back.
Yeah, let's open up this. Let's see what's the heart of this this red beast.
Yeah, here we go.
It's like a time capsule. You could be stepping back into the 60s right now.
If you look at all the panels and the steel monocoque done exactly. Our car is also all steel. If you look here, the roof all steel, the same as the original car. The sides all steel. The replicas and the kit cars that most people build, they do this all out of fiberglass. It's just not the same thing. Our stuff is all the same. If you open this hood and you look inside, all the joints, every panel, everything that we did in the car is exactly the same as the original car. The world authority on GT40s is Ronnie Spain, and he's checked our cars. He's on his second or third book about GT40s, and he's naturally featuring the Super Performance GT40 in that. John Sadler, the owner, and Brady Pack, and Bob Wood, the guys who own the GT40 Mark, have all naturally spent a lot of time inspecting, going through our cars, looking at the quality. We've actually built approximately 220 of them now, and there were only about 80, 90 original GT40s back in the 60s. So we've doubled that number also. Owners love them. You struggle to find one used. They just don't come up. And when they do, they're pretty much as expensive as buying a brand new one from you.
People probably are wondering about the shape over here, and that's for aerodynamics, right?
That was more to get the hot air out of the radiator, and it also caused downforce. It was also, the Daytona Coupe did the same thing. They even did it on the Shelby Series 1. If you can believe it, many years later. But there are a lot of cars that use that.
Now, I heard there's a trick to getting into one of these cars because the sills are so wide.
Well, yeah. Once you've done it, I'm 6 foot and 202 many pounds.
Right. Show me how you get in here.
I can show you. There's an easy way of getting in, and I've done it so many times. You can remove the steering wheel when you get in, but I've not found the need for it. I just put my leg in, lean it over to the side, throw my other leg in, and I'm in the car. And I'm pretty comfortable, and I don't even have the gurney bubble. But I'm pretty comfortable in here. You
So
can
that's
see it.
is that what the original would have looked like?
Yeah, that's what the
Yeah?
Mark 1 GT40 looked like.
So all the same
Everything is correct,
instrumentation?
same instrument, Smith with there's one Lucas gauge normally. Yeah, he's changed them all, but they have the Smith gauges. Everything is correct in the car.
Now, how do you get the steering wheel? Is that a replica of the original one?
That's a manufactured new. It's removable. He's got it locked now, but I can show you on the other GT40.
Comes
It's
out.
removable.
Yep.
This is a left-hand drive. We build them in left-hand drive and right-hand drive with a right-hand shift, which was really interesting. The right-hand shift was done for the American drivers because they weren't used to shifting with their left hands.
Yeah.
So they moved everything out. And everybody asks me, well, if it goes to the right-hand side, you move the pedals too. No, the pedals are the same. So your pedals are still in the same position. They're just on the right, and you've got a right-hand shift in the right-hand drive GT40 Mark 1. We also do a wide-body version of this car, and that's the wider rear fenders, and the sills widen out too. And, of course, then you put the 13 by 14-inch wide wheels at the back.
Yeah, it looks like you're
14
pretty.
by 13-inch wide wheels.
It looks like you're pretty tight in there.
Actually, it's a lot more space than what you imagine because you've got the big sills and you're comfortable, and we do have air conditioning. So that makes your ride a lot more comfortable.
And how many horsepower did you say was this?
Well, this particular car
Yeah.
has got a 427 stroker, fuel injected, 8-stack fuel injected, and it's probably over 550 horsepower.
Yeah, look at the look of that. Those headers. That's just a work of art. That is a work of art indeed.
And getting out is just the same. Just put your leg out and you're out. It's actually not that difficult once you've done it a couple of times, and I've done it a few thousand times in and out.
Obviously, the suspension's part of the body structure of this car, so that's just a work of art.
And Rick, the owner of this one, went all the way to the Gurney Westlake valve covers. He just did it so beautiful because Dan Gurney raced these, made them famous too.
Now, are those loud or are those quiet?
Actually, because the engine sits behind you, it's loud for everybody behind you.
Yeah.
It's very pleasant in the cabin of this car. It's not like a Cobra with those loud side pipes on the side of you. And the GT40 with the famous bundle of snakes, as they are called, exhaust system, has the most incredible sound. It's a higher pitch sound V8, and it sounds like nothing else out there. And the GT40 went on in 67. One of the comments were that the Americans didn't really win Le Mans with a Ford because it was an English car racing with American engine built by American team. So they built the Mark IV, which was completely an American-built GT40. And, of course, that went in 167. But Ferrari knew how to adapt things and change things so he could win, and he got them to change the rules so they couldn't run the big engines anymore. And Ford said, you know what, we won twice, we're good. And they handed it over to the Wilman team and to the guys in England with the Mark 1s. And they came back with a little Mark 1 with a small engine in it, running against cars that were so much bigger, so much more money in it. And GT40 goes and wins again, the famous 1075 Mark 1. And without thinking anything, they brought the same car back the next year with some changes, wider body, bigger tires, but nowhere outclassed by far with the Porsches and the stuff that was there for Le Mans those years. And that same car went and won. And as far as we know in history, it's the only same car to ever win Le Mans 2 years in a row. So the GT40 is a major car.
All right, this is your personal car. How many miles you got on it?
Maybe 10,000 now?
That's a lot of miles for a car that's basically a street race car.
Yeah,
What
it is.
What is special about this car? What do you like about it?
I like it because it's an original copy of a real car. And I've tried to keep the thoroughbred as pure as I could. There's nothing on the car that doesn't make it go fast except for the air conditioning.
And when you drive it, you get a lot of attention. I mean, when you start it up, it's just magnificent.
Everybody loves the car. I mean, you get stopped at gas stations, people hang out of the windows with cell phones taking pictures. It's almost annoying, the attention.
Have you Have you mastered the getting in and out of the car? I know the sill is very wide and there's a trick to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You do that immediately. So, and the wheel comes off, steering wheel comes off as well, so it's removable.
What's it like driving a race car on the street?
Well, it's interesting. You have to really pay attention all the time, and it's a driver's car. So you're constantly using the gearbox, the brakes, and the throttle to drive the car.
I see there's no radio in it.
No,
You don't need a radio.
you don't. You couldn't hear a radio if you had one.
The radio is the sound of the exhaust, I bet.
Exactly.
Do you own any other cars?
I do.
Yeah. What else?
I have a Mercedes wagon and a pickup truck.
That's quite the eclectic collection of vehicles.
I know.
How about living with it? Is it hard to maintain?
No, not really. I've done all the work on it myself. As a matter of fact, after I got this car, I stripped it right down to the tub and then basically went through everything myself and put it all back together again.
The gurney bubble. The gurney bubble.
Because
Now,
Dan didn't fit, right? Tell me
Correct.
about that.
Yeah, Dan. Dan had some firsts, as most people know. He was the first guy to spray champagne, and now every race you see that. And then of course the gurney bubble. They put it in for Dan, and he was a tall guy, and look, he was still cramped. Those were real men that raced those cars. If you could imagine in '66 and '7, in the rain, over 220 miles an hour. It's just mind-blowing to think that's how fast they drove. There were no demisters, defoggers proper in those cars. They were real men that raced those cars.
Adrenaline and courage.
Yeah, courage. And for 24 hours, that just shows you how amazing the car was.
All right, so here we have the Mach 2, which is the wider one.
Now this is the 1966.
So it's the later one.
Mark II, yeah. When Ford gave Shelby the Mark 1 GT40s, Shelby knew he wanted the big engine. He wanted his FE in it. The small ones, the Mark 1s had a small block in it. So he changed the rear of the car and got all the extra scoops to get air in for the cooling of the brakes, for the cooling of the engine, for the cooling of the transmission. That's what all these scoops do. So it's a real manly GT40. You can see the difference. He also then added a little more rake in the front. It's very tough to notice, but this car has a slight more downforce in the front because he knew it was going to be faster. And that's the big differences in the Mark IIs. Now the Mark IIs were never street cars. There were only about 12 or 13 of them built, and they didn't. There were no street versions. Even though after they raced, a lot of guys put them onto the street. The Shelby edition, as you can see, comes with all the Shelby coloring, paintwork, Shelby paint scheme, right down to the Shelby plaque on the dash, air conditioning, leather interior. They're really popular at the moment. Most of these are going to Europe. We have a lot of them up to the buyers in the US, but a lot more are going to Europe now, and Japan. Really, really, really popular. And this has always been known as the American GT40, the Mark II. It's just the macho car.
Yeah, Nathan said it looks like it wants to hurt you, and
yeah.
he's right.
And it's the acceleration when we take people, the engine sits right on the back wheel, so you've got the most incredible traction, and it only has to move 2,450 pounds. So with 550 and 600 horsepower, like some of the guys who are putting the big blocks in, and over 600 horsepower, I've got some owners, it puts you back in the seat. It hurts your chest. You've got to hold on. There's no way you can keep your head forward, and you'll never reach for anything on the dashboard.
Lance, what size wheels are these?
These are 15s. They originally ran 15-inch wheels,
Yeah.
and these are only 10-inch wide. We do have upgrades to 11 and 12 and 13-inch wide, where you can put bigger tires, and that's generally done on the Mark 1 wide body. And here's your gurney bubble you were talking about,
Yep.
and it is in this one.
Beautiful, beautiful car. And what was this little flap for? Was this so they can get
That was
food?
just a little window. Yeah, that's pretty much all. Now, they didn't have air conditioning, so they needed this. And they also had extra little air windows, and they had a big fan that blew air in. But of course, our cars come all with air conditioning, it's factory standard. We also now build a GT40R, and that's really got popular. That comes with a full 6-point roll cage inside it. It's racing in Europe, it's FIA approved. It's racing all over. A couple of them are racing in the US. We struggle to keep them in the US because the European buyers buy them all and take them to Europe. But the GT40R is absolutely amazing. It has the canard wings in the front, the wind deflectors, and it doesn't have air conditioning as standard.
That's a pure race car.
That's a pure race car. and so much fun to drive. You speak to any of the owners, they'll tell you. My personal car is based on the 66 Le Mans winner. Now there's a bit of controversy about that because Ford wanted a photo finish and Ken Miles was leading the race at the time. But with the photo finish, the number 2 car ended up being the winner with Chris Amon driving it. And we always thought that Ken might have been robbed a bit on that because he would have won the 3 races, the Sebring, Daytona, and Le Mans. But either way, I've got the Mark II, and that was specially, that particular car was specially built for Carroll on his 85th birthday. And to commemorate, it's an 85th special edition, and it was to commemorate his 85th birthday and his wins at Le Mans. And now we offer a special edition CS GT40 Mark II, or you can get it in Mark I body styling.
Do you domesticate it at all, or is it as raw as the original?
The weird thing is we've really got that car to drive nicely. I've got about 11,000 miles on the black one.
Yeah.
It's done a lot of track miles. It's run at most of the tracks around the country. My son spends hours in it. He's a safe driver, and he doesn't ride as hard as I do. I tend to have it flying off occasionally, pushing it to its limits. But it's got air conditioning, so that's the big difference.
Yeah,
it's got air conditioning, and the coil spring's a little softer. It's got the Bilstein coilovers all the way around, but everything on the car is exact to the original GT40. We are licensed by the holders of the GT40 mark, the original mark, and we couldn't just get that lightly. It wasn't easy. There were many companies that approached them over the years, but nobody was prepared to go to the lengths that we did to make sure the monocoque is exact. Every weld, right down to the spot welds, all done the same as what the original GT40s. We copied the suspension with all the mounting points, all the specs. Some changes were made. For instance, the uprights and stuff aren't magnesium. They're now aluminum. The wheels are aluminum as opposed to magnesium, and we don't use the old Girling brakes, not available. It's got the Willwood 4-piston ultralights all the way around. So braking in the car is incredible. And because most of our owners go with a small block engine, we're about 150 pounds lighter than the original GT40. So
that was pretty late crazy to begin with.
Yeah, and we use an RBT transaxle, which is basically the old ZF transaxle, remanufactured, brand new, and 5-speed now. So we've got 5-speed available for the car.
All right, Eric, so tell me, how long does it take you to install an engine?
Well, it depends on what we're doing, but this is a CSX with a carbureted Shelby motor, so this takes about 3 weeks to complete. If we do a fuel injection like the one behind you, which is a Roush fuel-injected motor, those take about 4 to 6 weeks.
Now, do the owners come here and pick them up from you?
Yes, generally.
Are they pretty excited?
Absolutely. Like the Daytona coupe that we have over at Lance's place, we just finished that, and that will be going to Texas. So either they get shipped out of here, or the customers come pick them up from me after I get done with them.
And how hard is it to install an engine? It looks like it's pretty easy. I mean, it looks like it's pretty
well. That's
set up
all
for that.
relative to what you do for a living, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We do run into a lot of customers that do them on their own, that are able to do it. Takes them a little bit longer than it does us. I've been doing it since 2000 with Lance, so I've got a lot of little tricks that I do that help along the way. But generally, it can be done at home as well.
And what's your favorite combination of car and engine? You've done so many now.
Truthfully, Daytona coupes are actually my car. I get that question quite a lot. What would you build?
Yeah.
And Daytona coupe would be what I'd build. And I would probably go with the fuel injection system now. There was a lot of, growing pains in the beginning, but we've sorted them out quite well, and they're very reliable. Even Lance can testify to that he actually enjoys the injection cars as well. Lance and I are both more carbureted, big, nasty lift, solid motor guys, but if we were to build one to drive around a lot, that would be the combination I would do.
I've driven mine to Monterey. It's about 1,100 mile trip, round trip back and forth. Amazing thing with the GT40, with 20 gallons, you go all the way to Monterey without stopping for gas. So I actually get sleepy. We're driving for such a long time. It's a comfy car. You sit back in it. It doesn't beat you up. It's not a hard ride as people would expect. If you put full race spec to suspension, it does change it. But whenever I take something, I say, this is remarkably livable. I can't believe how nice the car drives. cars, and that's what we've got.
How much are those?
They start at 89
Okay.
for the Super Performance version.
Yeah.
Shelby Edition is 109 approximately. Shelby comes with a lot of other upgrades that are standard in the Shelby Edition. Yeah, that's by the time you've done an engine and all the right stuff, you can be anywhere from around 135, and then we have some unbelievable cars being built right now. We've actually got a car commissioned by Chris Amon in New Zealand that's going to be an exact clone of the car he won. They're spending about 180,000. They are putting all the magnesium uprights. They're putting the Girling brakes. They're doing everything, and it's going to be at a function that they're having in New Zealand for the GT40 and the black car number 2.
Nathan, I know this is a Cobra because it says so, but I thought all Cobras were convertibles.
Nope, this one was built to race, but the one you're looking at here is a little bit different than the one that actually raced. This is actually a genuine car. You can get in it, drive in it, sit in it all day. The race cars, the Daytonas, were not quite made like this. And here's the interesting part. This bad boy, completely sanctioned by Carroll Shelby, and it's gorgeous.
Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. Nathan, it's okay.
I'm good.
You good? You good?